1 second. 1 second is all it takes for a leader to lose the room, not because their ideas fail, but because their voice did. I've seen it so often. A senior executive takes the microphone and the first word they say is, all your years of expertise and your brilliant, intelligent ideas loses impact simply because of how your voice sounded when you started speaking. The most common and deadliest mistake that senior executives make is speaking from anxiety instead of authority. They stepped onto stage feeling anxious and tense. Why does this happen to executives who actually have experience in speaking? Well, in high pressure, high stakes moments, our body goes into survival mode. The throat tightens, the breathing becomes shallow, and the voice rises ever so slightly. This means that it loses resonance and starts to sound thinner, tighter, faster. Even though the message is strong, the voice says something entirely different. Uncertainty. Here's what's fascinating. Audiences don't consciously register those nuances, but they can feel it. Their brain unconsciously says, something's off here. Not sure I trust this. This is how great executives lose their influence and impact in seconds because of their vocal dissonance. Their voice didn't match their power. These are the common scenarios where it happens. The boardroom pitch. You're walking through quarterly results. Then a senior stakeholder challenges your numbers. You start to explain faster, higher, tighter. You may know your numbers, but your physiology and your voice says you're not so sure, and the room feels it. The media interview. A journalist asks a difficult question that could potentially lead to bad PR for the company. Caught off guard, your voice loses its grounding. Again, the pace picks up. The voice of calm authority turns defensive, and that erodes trust with the audience. Your first town hall as the new CEO. You want to inspire the team with your vision, but your breath is shallow. The tone is rushed. It doesn't sound inspired. It sounds breathless and thin. That kills your presence. Each time, the problem isn't what you said. It's how your nervous system affected the sound of your voice. Often, the executive thinks he hit it well, or his people told him, "You did great, boss." But the people, the audience, can sense the anxiety, the lack of confidence, and the tension. How do we fix this? Well, the advice given is often take a deep breath, lower your pitch, slow down. And while those tactical tips are good, they're just the start. They're surface level. I'm going deeper with 5 techniques grounded in neuroscience, physiology, and voice coaching to reset your vocal presence from the inside out. Technique number 1, the calm reset. Before you speak, just hum. And I've spoken about this on the podcast before, but now I'm adding another layer. As you hum, gently tap the upper part of your chest with your fingertips. Why? Have you noticed when someone gets a rude shock, for example, a large bookcase crash next to them with a loud sound, when they realize they're not in danger, the hand goes to their chest. Oh, I was so scared. And sometimes they tap themselves. It's soothing. It's like how mothers carry babies and tap them to sleep. This technique activates the vagus nerve and stimulates the receptors in your chest that regulate heart rhythm. Studies have found that pairing vocal vibration, the humming, with light percussion, the tapping, lowers cortisol faster than just breathing alone. It actually tells your body you're safe. That means your voice returns to its natural authority. It's grounded, warm, and resonant. Do this in a private space before walking into that high-stakes presentation. Technique number 2, the shoulder shrug. We hold a lot of tension in our neck and shoulder muscles from hunching over the computer or looking down at our phones all day. Our muscles are already tight to begin with, and anxiety makes it even tighter. This causes our voice to sound strained. This simple technique of shrugging our shoulders loosens it up before we speak, just like that. And I'm going to add another layer of neck rolls, clockwise and anti-clockwise. We also want to do some head turns to the left and to the right. And you might want to press your clavicle gently and feel that stretch and relief. Technique number 3, the center of balance. Slowly sway forward and backward and side to side until you find your most balanced point. You're not leaning or bracing. This is your neutral alignment point, your center of balance that helps you feel grounded. Let your muscle memory store this so that when you go on stage, you know where your center is. Studies show that even slight muscular bracing in the calves or hips creates tension in the body, and that affects the feeling of calmness. So balance the body and the voice follows. Being centered physically grounds your sound. Those are just 3 techniques to prepare you physically before you step on stage or for your media interview. Now, there are many others, of course, in a pre-performance ritual, but I'm going to move into techniques that you can use when you're already on stage. Technique number 4, the silent inhale. When we're anxious, we tend to inhale sharply before we speak. That gasp for air and breathlessness signals tension to our nervous system. Instead, inhale quietly and deeply before your first words. Begin your first sentence on that out breath. So the first thing you say sounds calm. Continue to do this, inhaling quietly and deeply, which is actually a pause. But for the audience, it sounds steady, measured, and in control. Technique number 5, shift from performance to connection. Now, this one is transformational. Very often, high achievers in that moment are thinking, how am I doing? How do I look to others? I don't want to say the wrong thing. Shift the thinking to, how can I give value to the audience? What insights can I share? How can I educate them? Give them new perspectives. Social neuroscience research shows that when we focus on connection and empathy, our brain activity moves from the task network to the social engagement network. That reduces performance anxiety and could also increase authenticity because your focus shifts from self-consciousness to service to others. So think of your body as a mirror to your nervous system. If your body is calm, your voice and tone projects confidence. If it's tense, your authority is compromised, even if the words are polished. That's why the executives who truly command a room are not performing presence. They're masters of their own physiology and state of mind. So they're not acting confident. They are confident. But don't suddenly do these new techniques when you're anxious and in the thick of the action. It's a new ritual or habit that takes some time to get used to. At the beginning, it's going to be a little bit awkward. Start with low-stakes situation with mild anxiety, not no anxiety. Maybe you're about to speak up in a meeting and share an idea you're not sure how it'll land. Practice this to develop your own ritual of getting into a calm and confident state. The next time you walk into a boardroom, remember that presence isn't just posture, it's physiology. Fix the way you breathe, balance, and resonate. And you'll fix the one mistake that weakens executive presence faster than any other. Because when your body aligns with your message, your words don't just inform, they lead and influence. I'd love it if you subscribe to this channel for more tips on public speaking, confidence, and presence.